Hello and welcome back to Stackhouse Knives down here in Wellington, New Zealand. Thank you very much for watching. This week's video we'll be making a slot punch. This slot punch in particular is a drift style slot punch. What I use this tool for is to slot punch little slots into brass and steel fittings. These little fittings become a little slide on section for my hidden tang profile knives, and this is a really great tool to do this job. This little guy is also going to be our very first tool out of our 9-week course project that will be released later on in the year. And I can't really disclose too much more information about the course we're going to be delivering, but this is the first tool you'll be learning to make, and then we're going to progressively start making more and more advanced tools, and then we have the tools to make those tools. So we've got a piece of tool steel or spring steel that's been forged out and straightened. It's got a bit of a square end on it, and this was for a project that I'm no longer going to continue with, so we're going to use this. The idea of this guy is that we're going to be forging a taper. Now it's not going to be an even taper, it's going to start out even, but then one side of the face is going to be a little bit more flat. This will allow me to use this tool much like a drift, so it's a punch and a drift in 2-in-1 as a tool. The other style punches are more of a dovetail section slot punch, which are really great to slot punch very thin material. But if I want to start drifting larger section material, I can use this guy as a drift and stretch that brass or that steel fitting to match whatever tang dimension that I've got. So this is why I really like this style tool, and I think in my opinion it's a very, very versatile tool. So let's get into it. This guy is my hybrid forge. I've been using this for a little while now. It's really a quick assembled forge that I needed to run classes, and it's actually held up a lot longer than I thought it would, which is awesome. But what I really want to note is that I'm actually running the smaller Gameco burner. Gameco are a knife making suppliership in Australia and New Zealand, and they have some absolutely wonderful gas burners, and would highly recommend purchasing this. This burner assembly, I have slightly modified it, sorry Gameco. The assembly here, just the burner with the ball valve attached, will cost you, I think, 75 New Zealand dollars, and I'm not sure what that is in Australian, perhaps something like 54 or something, depending on the exchange rate. With the entire assembly and a hose and a stock regulator that they stock, they are, I think, $106. Just about $100. $100 for a burner. That's incredible. That's a really, really good price, and I would really highly recommend giving them a go. As you saw in the footage, heat treated, and I also showed off that the tempering colours in that guy as well. The idea is that I really wanted to make sure that the punch was really centered and nice and straight. That's the hex shape on the back. I need to file that off there, and then I just need to tidy up these edges just a little bit more, which will give me that section of the tool like that. So that's the plan. It needs to do a particular job, and that's putting little squares inside that guy there. And that's the idea of a slot punch. Also with a quartz file, just take these corners down just a little tiny bit. So just taking off that section there. So yeah, that's the punch really pretty much finished. You can still see the heat treatment colours in that guy as well, if you can see in the bright light. It's just yellow right at the tip, the rest of this is mid purple, and then the rest of the tool is quite blue. So it's a soft tool, but you want it to be tough, not hard. So definitely on the softer range, and then yeah, I really like this hex section. Gives you a good amount of grip when you're working, and if you've got them in tongs, then they're not going to slip out when you're working with it as well. So there we have it. Our slot punch is pretty much finished, and to be honest, I'm pretty pleased with it. I did all of this with a hand tool, so I haven't touched a bench grinder. I've been forging the material using a hot cut hardy to cut the material, and then the rest of it is very, very light file work. Even after heat treatment, it was just very easy to take the top of the tool off and slightly file these sections to make it a little bit more tidy and a little bit more easier when you go to punch that brass or steel fitting, whatever you've got. Once you've got that fitting punched, it'll be really easy to get that piece of material back off again. It's a little bit shorter than my original one, which was I think my mistake. I should have definitely pinched a bit more material here to help that flare and crown form a little bit more on the top, but that's really a very minor detail. This tool actually took me in total about 35 minutes. So I really hope you enjoyed this week's video here at Stackhouse Knives, and I'm really trying to get a little bit more basic stuff in order, and this will be video 1 for our blacksmithing starter kit that will be releasing courses and dates later on in the year. If you have any suggestions on what you'd like to see next at Stackhouse Knives, I'd really like to hear that. You're most welcome to put that down in the comment section below. And if this is the first video that you've seen of Stackhouse Knives, I suggest you hit the subscribe button down below and hit the post notification button. That will give you ongoing notifications on our content and our videos here at Stackhouse Knives. And if you really enjoyed the video, smash the like button with a giant hammer, and that would be absolutely amazing. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. You have an awesome day.